Today's topic is challenges and successes of career change. Our esteemed speaker is Mr. Syed Hassan. He is an alumnus of LUMS. He has done his undergrad from LUMS back in 2004, and then he's done his master's in computer science, Cornell University, also financial markets MS from Illinois Institute of Technology. He's currently working as a senior software engineer at Walmart Global Technology, and he's previously worked as assistant vice president, programmer markets in Bank of America, and he's also worked in Amadeus IT Group, if I am pronouncing it right. And he's also worked in Barclays Bank as business partner, finance business partner, and many more. So yeah, I'll now leave the floor open for Mr. Hassan so that he can officially start the session. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Thank you for joining, and thank you, Yusra, for this opportunity. Yes, you guys can see my slides, right? I'm not sure if I can. Yusra, you can see the slides, right?
Yes, we
All
can.
right, sounds good. So, yeah, the topic for today, challenges and success of career change. It's something that I went through mid-career, and I just wanted to share my viewpoint. Try to be as abstract as possible in terms of any particular career changes, so that anybody looking to make a change or doesn't know what it takes or wants to know what it takes to make a career change midway, then this presentation is for you. If you already know where you're going with your career, where you're going to start, that's great. But there's always that room for, oh, I think I may have landed in the wrong area, or wrong function, and I want to move to something else that's more of interest to me. Then I will give a little bit of pointers around those lines so that you can maybe find some help. And you can directly contact me too. I'll leave my email address, etc., at the end. So without any delay, let's start. I'm just going to go through an introduction about myself. I'm going to talk a little bit about some parts of my career that were some of the reasons and what was insight for me that I was using to understand whether I need to make a career change or not. Only those parts of things I'm going to highlight. We'll talk about choosing a career a little bit, and then what a career change involves, and then at the end, challenges and the benefits of a career change, and then we can leave the floor for question and answers. It's going to be not more than 15-20 minutes, hopefully, and then you guys can take the floor and ask many questions, and we can go from there. Um, yes, I'm a batch of BSc 2005, but I finished my undergrad in 2004. I joined Citibank as a executive trainee, which is kind of like a management associate, and worked there for 2 years in business planning and analytics. I enjoyed that time. It was a great experience. And when I started, like most of you guys, or some of you guys, I knew that I wanted to eventually do a business degree and moved up in the corporate ladder. And the usual plan that some people have. Even though I was a computer science graduate. So yeah, I started Citibank, and then later I decided to maybe enhance my skill set. I was interested in financial markets, but I was still interested in my programming skills that I had developed over as an undergrad, and I really enjoyed that part too. So the program that I went at Illinois Institute of Technology also had programming so I developed systems for stock trading, etc., while also learning financial engineering, taking financial engineering courses. So that kind of helped me in the current career trajectory that I was in. And then I came back because I was in a Fulbright scholarship that requires us to come back. I joined Barclays, and I spent about 3.5 years, about or 4 years in Pakistan and UAE combined, again in the same area, business planning, analytics, and grew there. At this point, I kind of figured that I was still interested in my undergrad and related fields. So computer science was still in the back of my head. I had done that financial markets program. Again, I did a lot of coding over there too, even though it doesn't say so. But funny enough, I spent some time doing that. So it all came back to me as like, okay, I think I may need to go back to computer science. But then what would it take? I had already spent like 5, 6 years and also had a career trajectory. And then I was like, okay, maybe I need to go back to school or something. So let's hold that thought and how that progressed. But eventually, I did my master's in computer science at Cornell, and then I switched careers to do software engineering. And I've been doing that for the last 10 years. As you sort of mentioned, airline IT, banking, retail. Those are the sectors that I went across in the US in the last 10 years. So moving on, you all know choosing a career can be very intimidating. Sometimes if you don't know, or even if you know, then you still are not sure. Some pointers to actually kind of settle your mind and something to think about when you're choosing a career. Those things I've written down here. But again, this talk is more about when you make a change, what it takes and what it matter, what it means when you make that change. So here we go. Understand who you are and what you want to achieve. So when you're starting off the bat, like after you graduate, 21, 22-year old, you are thinking, oh, I've done my law degree, I've done my computer engineering degree, I know what I'm going. But sometimes you still think, oh, maybe I will choose something that is very close to my field, but I'll figure out later. Or you actually know where you're going. um, then here's what's something that you should keep in mind. Are you What kind of person are you as a business person? More technical, more academic? Because all these things matter. In the long term, you want to be on a career trajectory that actually is growing and not stagnant, and also you enjoy doing it. After all, you have spent a lot of time studying, picking up knowledge, skills, and you want to keep going in a good track. Um, and then you will want to think about yourself as, do you thrive working as an individual or within teams or a mix of both? These things matter, and I'm talking about these particular things because this is the nature of work. When you get out in the market, you're working. Um, so for me, for example, I'm more of an individual person. I work in teams a lot in a lot of collaborative environment. But as a developer, I produce code and put it as part of our production alone. All the work is separate, it's individual. You're not making a promotions campaign, so that's not a huge teamwork, and it's not academic work. So what I'm just trying to get to is for you to understand what kind of a person you are too, because then you fit into the right place better. Then there are other pointers that I put in: looking into your next 5 years or further. This is something that everybody will tell you. Oh, where are you going to see yourself in the next 5 years? What does that really mean for you? It means something for somebody else and something for another person. Choosing career function sector is where you want to stay for the long term, and do you intend to be flexible? So what I'm trying to say here is that 5 years of out of undergrad program are very crucial. You are going to put in day out time and effort to learn, develop skills, show that you're worth, you're an asset to a company. So at that point, you need to be even more sure that the next 5 years are you're there. Again, this is counterintuitive that, oh, if I'm so sure I want to be there, then if I want to change, then what happens? And that's exactly what I want to lead to. So if you end up in a point where, yes, you're putting in the time, but you're not enjoying your work and you want a career change, then that flip is also possible. It's harder. It has its own anxieties and stresses that need to be in view. And some people will feel it more than others, but it exists. After 5 years or 6 years, or you feel that you want to change, or even later if you want to change, yes, you can change, but for that you have to understand that there are that you really need to be motivated. Your motivations should be correct. Your experiences still count because it makes you the person you are, and you know now by that point in 4 or 5 years that who you are, what you like, and where you want to be in some context, in some form. Again, as you see, I'm trying to not specifically tell you a career field. I'm telling you as a person who you are and how you fit into the right place and the right sort of career, just so that it's not specific to any particular area. So let's start by, what is your motivation to switch? Asking the right question: is it really possible to switch? What do I need to do it? Do I have transferable skills? So from your previous experience, am I leaving a career or choosing a new career? Now, this is a different mindset. Are you fed up of where you were, or are you just leaving it having enjoyed it, but you think you have something else for motivation to move forward to another career. Then are you choosing a new career is means you like you found something around those 5 years that you're like, oh, this is where I should have been in those and I like the career that I'm in, but this is exactly what I should be doing. Now that's choosing a career. So those have slightly different motivating factors. Being upset and not interested in what you're doing, that has benefits, but you have to understand that you have already spent a lot of time doing that thing. But even then, you can still leave. But you try to find still the right fit before you go again into the same rabbit hole. So leaving, not interested anymore, not seeing growth, decline in market for that current path, choosing more interested in something I learned, found a new challenge in another field. So you see these two lines of thought are slightly different, and you have to approach that problem of changing career field with the right motivation. Because I'll tell you what happens when you're changing, and eventually when you're stuck in that transitioning phase. It's a mental block. It has a lot of implications to your mental health as well. So yeah, current experience, make it count. You have built experience and network, leverage it to make the right choices. Again, your experience, your network are right there because you've been working, not doing anything else, and you have been learning and you have been developing skills, even though you think you may not have because you were not either interested or you wanted to move somewhere else. You had still been working, you've still been, doing your day-to-day tasks for the past few years, and you want to change. Now you have to think back. What are the skills that I can take back? For example, for me, uh, I took a lot of soft skills from my career as a banker and moved it when I'm presenting cases for building tools, for building software that I need to make a presentation that oh, this is the best case for this problem to be solved. Then I use those skills. Yes, the soft skills can be captured from anywhere, but you tend to sort of leverage all of that and kind of move forward. Again, now you're doing a career switch. What is in your resume that you can take from? And feel free to look into my LinkedIn profile. I've put that in these slides as well, and you kind of see that there are certain things that kind of actually translates as well to software development, even though it doesn't make like direct sense. How is a banker doing software development, and how are banking skills applicable on this side? um, Eventually they do have some thread of commonality. So moving forward, steps you need to enter a new career. Let's just talk about that. Now, when you are changing, here's the big game. Like this is where you will be tested. You will be at a point of no return. You will be thinking that this is a cliff. If I dive and make it, then I will be very successful. Otherwise, I don't know where I'm going to be. So before switching, you are already X years behind people who entered the target career. How do you build a profile to hit the ground running? That is the first question, or one of the first questions that will come to your mind when you're career switching. All my friends from all my peers from graduate studies, all my people have moved on, and now I'm switching. I'm going to take a step back. I am definitely going to be taking a sort of an entry level role or a very lower level role to start, and that's exactly what I did too. When I came to the US, I started an associate software engineer back in Amadeus, Boston, 10 years ago. Had to take a cut back, had to be behind. But then, like, all's not that gloomy. If you are in the right track, fast forward 10 years, you will feel that, yeah, that was the right move, and I should have done that for sure. Again, not everything is a bed of roses. It was a hard terrain to travel. But again, let's go back to the slides. What level would you apply? Entry, mid, senior? And how would you modify your resume so that the relevant details pop out? These are the first things that you should be thinking about when you're switching. Take your resume out. Think of where you put your target right in front of you, where you want to be. Go search career pages. Go see job descriptions. Be also aware that people put job descriptions with a bottomless pit of everything they want you to be, which is like a which a jack of all master of all trades. So you have to pick. the right things from that and see how you can link to those requirements. Have you done SQL, for example? In my case, oh yes, I have done tons of SQL. Even at banking, as when I was working analytics side, I've done SQL, so I can take and pull that in, and so on and so forth. So you need to know the job description. You need to know where you're targeted, and you can pull in whatever you need. Um, so yeah, so those are some things that you would need to be doing. Then there's a period of search and transition where what would you be open to best fit options, salary expectations? Meanwhile, you search and apply, you can do a lot of other activities. So when you're transitioning and you're trying to move to a new career, you also need to keep your mind open to other possibilities close to the targeted career, but maybe not into it. So, for example, in the US at least, we have people who are quality assurance people who do coding as well, but they don't put production level code. So that is an arm of software engineering, but you could kind of branch into that and move in. And so there are other areas as well in every aspect of careers that you can sort of get close to, but not exactly be in your targeted career path. So here's that search and transition period, and then post switch, find more details and areas to work in and grow. The second you are have switched, then you want to be very clear on the track that you want to be on in terms of career growth, what you want to achieve in every few years, and so on and so forth, because you have already put in a lot of time in a different career. And now you want to restart. And again, like you want to hit the ground running. Uh, all this process, pre-switching, search, transition, post-switch, they have a lot of anxiety, a lot of stresses, because you are switching to a point which may not have your skill set. You are way behind your peers. You are maybe in a different phase of life. Maybe you are by the time married, or you have other things that you need to take care of behind you too. So all of this will have its own stress and anxieties. But to mitigate that, one or two things is that hold on to your current job. Don't let it go. That will help you sort of be okay. The other thing to mitigate this is keep looking forward. Vision of the future is key to managing the stress and anxiety. Less focus on the trajectory of your peers and more contentment and forward looking on your new journey. What I'm trying to say here is that if you keep moving forward and just keep your benchmark as your yesterday, then you will be satisfied and you will keep moving forward. And when the dust settles, you will be, oh yes, I'm the right career track, and this is exactly where I wanted to be. So never forget your initial motivation as well, and you will make a switch. You will be successful, but it takes time, it takes effort. It will be a step back, and all those add up to your stresses and anxiety. Looking at the clock is 9:23. Just I think maybe another slide. Again, the benefits of changing is obvious. Nothing special there. You will come to a long-term career growth prospect, better income growth, because now you're at a point where you know you can grow even better. There's another level of motivation and energy for what you're doing, and you're excited to do than to be doing something you don't want to do and not progress in your career. Increase personal satisfaction, which right now doesn't matter to you guys because you're undergrads and just out of school. Eventually, it makes a lot more mental peace and stability. Something that kind of translates to the last line that I've written here. Career is one aspect of your life. Now that it's on track, that after you have made your career jump and you have put your major switch, you can move forward to achieve other things too, because there is a lot more to be achieved than just having a career. That is later in life. Right now, obviously, it's going to be all about career and building that. But having said that, I hope I have given some sort of intuitive idea of what you need to be looking into if you want to make career switch, if you are excited about the new career, what is happening, the stresses that you will encounter, and if there is anything specific that you need to do to catch up. Um, yeah, let's just keep this presentation short. Let's maybe make it more interactive. If there's any question, the people can put it on their chat, or I think you can unmute yourself and ask. I've left my contact on the screen, so please feel free to connect.
Yes, thank you, Hassan. Guys, if you have any questions, you can raise your hands and unmute yourself. You can ask. Okay, so there is this 10-second rule. If within 10 seconds nobody raises their hands, then we assume there's no question. 8, 9, 10. All right. Okay. Tariq Mahmood has a question. Yes, please.
Hello. Thank you very much, Hassan, for the informative session. I just wanted to ask one question that is regarding specifically the computer science domain. What people usually, say today is that it is better to, go for some online courses or, take some, like, for example, Udemy or Udacity courses, or you can take the nano degrees instead of like doing an official like master's or going for higher degrees. But I've seen that you have completed two of your master's degrees. So do you have any comments on this question? Like, is it better to go for a formal master's degree, or is it like more better to go for the online courses and things like that?
Um, Thank you, Tarek, for that question. Just to clarify, the reason for me to take a second master's is because I was coming to the US. I had to establish myself with something even stronger. The requirements here are that if you have an H-1B, there's a whole process and you get a green card, etc. So I wanted to settle down here, and I went through the whole process and got my green card, etc. That required me to do a master's, but I have friends who have come through Systems Limited, etc. They didn't do their master's. They came here working with Systems Limited, and then or companies that send people here, and then did their graduate degree while they were working. So that's one route. Taking courses, Coursera. My entire senior directors, managers, people around me, everybody takes Coursera courses. Everybody takes their skills up all the time because they need to be up to date. um, the comparison between a master's level program and doing this is if you are looking to make yourself established in another country and you need to make a huge change, then yes, it makes sense to do a graduate degree program. But if you're already working in your field, you want to enhance your skills and be at the top of your maybe programming skills in Pakistan, and Coursera would be more than enough to help you. Udemy would be more than enough. Today, I am doing a boot camp from Simply Learn that is teaching me data science, machine learning, deep learning. It's a 6-month program that I'm doing. It's via Caltech. The reason why I'm doing this again to upskill myself, and it's as good as a graduate degree program because actually that's what their title is. Um, if you were expecting the world to see it that way when you were looking for a job, at least in the U.S., um, you would better have at least an undergrad, and masters will not matter if you have those skill sets because you have to show those skill sets too. So that should be enough doing. But I don't want to take you away from doing a graduate degree program because that has its own benefits too. But yeah, those Coursera courses, Udemy courses, they are very involved and they do give you that knowledge that you need. It's not as rigorous as a graduate degree program, but yeah, they are good enough. I hope that kind of answers your question, Tarek.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you. Guys, are there any more questions?
I do see one question in the chat. For those interested in developing in career in AI and robotics, is there any venture capitalists or companies we can start our careers with as a rising senior and as a recent graduate? Um, my understanding is um, okay. So one aspect is you can talk to a lot of LUMS alumni here in the US. We have and I think Yusra may be able to help you out even more, get connected with people who are doing a lot of VC related work, a lot of entrepreneurship here in New York. They can sort of guide you. They are, I think there's an entrepreneurial section of our computer science department, right? Maybe you would know more about that actually. They could help you. As a rising senior, yes, developing a career in AI and robotics is kind of something. I'm not sure about VCs, but yes, you can use companies' help or do freelance work, because there's a lot of freelance work out there still, and kind of leverage your skill set, or improve. But but I'm not sure if I'm asking the question. Though. Developing and creating AI and robotics, is there any ventures, VCs, or companies we can start our careers with? I think there are VCs in Pakistan, but I think they're based out of Singapore and other areas. Because I do have some connections with, and I've seen a lot of people in LinkedIn posting that they have invested in a lot of startups in Pakistan. Maybe that's some route that you might want to explore. But being out here, I'm not very in tune with what's happening in Pakistan. I'm not sure if that's kind of helping answer this question, but yeah,
Yeah. Thank you
that's my
so
two
much,
cents.
Hassan.
Sure.
Okay, guys, are there any more questions before we end this amazing session? No. Okay. Thank you. I think you have pretty much explained everything. Yeah. Thank you so much, Hassan, for this insightful and very informative session. Thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule. And, thank you for guiding us students. Yeah. Have a very, very good day and stay tuned for our upcoming mentorship sessions. Have a
Sure.
very good
Thank you.
day.
Thank you so much, Yusra. And please feel free to connect. And the students can connect whenever they need. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Have a
Allah
great day.
Hafiz.
Bye. Hafiz.